How many Jane Eyres do you need, you ask? Well, as many beautiful old editions as one can find, because it is simply the most wonderful book in the world. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm drinking a cup of coffee here and I'm in my home library, and I am about to put away the books on my bookshelf that I did my last video on, which was a haul of these thrifted books. I promised that I would share with you guys when I put these books away on the shelves. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Alithia. This is my channel dedicated to all things books. Books are something that have recently become a huge passion of mine. It wasn't without some trial and error. When I first decided I wanted to get into reading, I kind of started and then fell into a reading slump, and then did a huge book declutter and decided maybe I didn't want a big library of books, because for a long time in my life I was a minimalist, and I've now realized that not much more brings me joy than a beautiful home library. And I have just been loving reading classic literature and reading in general. I've just really been enjoying it. And so yeah, my last video was a quite large, mostly thrifted, like 99% thrifted book haul. Today we're gonna put those books away on the shelves. And I also got a few trinkets from the secondhand store to put on the shelf as well to decorate with. So that is what we're doing today. It is very warm in this room as well. I don't have central air in my house, and I don't have an air conditioner upstairs, and so this room is quite warm. So I'm going to try to make this video not too terribly long, but I really love spending time here in this room. It's particularly nice in the winter because I do have a fireplace in here, and this room is just very cozy in the winter time, the fall and the winter. I cannot wait for fall, for a nice chilly rainstorm and some evenings that are just cool and gloomy. I love the gothicness of fall. I love when it's just a little gloomy and dark and cold and eerie and crunchy leaves and the sun goes down earlier. That's my favorite time of year. If it could be fall all year round, I would be a happy girl. Also, if you love books and all things books, I would love if you consider subscribing. Your support would really mean a lot to me, as my channel is brand new. Yeah, so if you like, you know, shabby chic, vintage, cottagecore, grandma themed, coffee, tea, books, all things books, hauls, reviews, and just sharing with you in general beautiful, pretty things, I hope you will consider subscribing. I am currently reading The Tenet of Wildfell Hall, which is downstairs in my living room. I'm about halfway done, and I really want to read Thomas Hardy, Far from the Madding Crowd. But I also sat down, and this is one of the books I got from my book haul the other day. I sat down and I read the first few pages of Little Dorrit from Charles Dickens, and I like it a lot already and want to continue reading it. I did share with you guys that I started reading Oliver Twist last winter, and I DNF'd it. And I thought there was something wrong with me because I wasn't enjoying it. It was my first ever Dickens that I read, and I got about halfway through and just kind of lost interest. And I had mentioned I wasn't really invested in the characters and wasn't holding my interest. And then after I've done a little bit more research on Dickens and watching people's ranking videos, I see that Oliver Twist is actually a lot of people's least or like second least favorite book of Dickens, and they suggested starting with things like Little Dorrit, Our Mutual Friend, Great Expectations, David Copperfield. And so I just sat down and like pieced through Little Dorrit, and I really, the first few pages, I'm liking it. So I'm happy to announce that I think this will actually be the next one I read when I'm done The Tenet of Wildfell Hall. So this is the box of books that I got from the secondhand store, and I also got these books that are sitting here on top of my fireplace. And I'm just going to grab them one by one and start putting them away on the shelves, and then we will figure out where we're going to put some of these beautiful trinkets that I got from the thrift store. I'll just share these trinkets with you guys really quick. The first trinket I'll share with you is a brass and I think silver plated, I think it's brass for sure, and then I'm not sure if there's silver plating as well, but it is a candlestick holder. Unfortunately, on one side it does have a 25, so this must have been for somebody's like 25th wedding anniversary or something. But if you turn it around, it's just a beautiful vintage, very good quality candlestick holder. I also found this fabulous bird. I love this little bird. I think he's just so precious. I love that he's got flowers on his head and flowers as wings. I have no idea where this would have come from or how much it would have cost or how it was made or anything like that, but I couldn't resist it when I saw it at the secondhand store. I thought it was the perfect whimsical addition to add to my bookshelves. I already do have another bird on my bookshelf, and I just thought this was gorgeous. And unfortunately, his tail did break, and you can tell that somebody glued it back on. I'm just so happy to have him, and I'm sure we'll find a beautiful place for him on my shelf. I also found this really beautiful trinket box, and it sort of looks like it's cracked, but I think that's just the painting design. It's got some flowers on it, and then it's got some gold rimming, and then you just open it up like so, and it's just a little trinket box. And I just thought this would be really beautiful for on my shelf as well. I try to keep with the same color theme for my bookshelves. I try to go with pastels, light colors. I also found this beautiful little bone china bouquet of flowers. It was a little bit overpriced for the thrift store when I found it, but this is the Royal Park fine bone china, Staffordshire, and I just thought this was really beautiful. It's very Jane Austen looking to me, and I thought this would be a lovely addition for my shelf as well. Recently, I have been getting more into blues, and in keeping with the same theme and the same color, I found this beautiful picture at the thrift store as well. And this would have come obviously with some sort of a bowl. I thought this was really beautiful. I love these antique pictures. I actually have one of these downstairs on my dining room table, and I'm using it as a flower vase. And again, they're just beautiful decor. You can also keep pens in them. You can keep bookmarks in them. They look beautiful sitting on top of a stack of books. So starting off at the top of the pile from the fireplace, we have Thomas Hardy, Return of the Native. And I believe my Thomas Hardys are up here somewhere. Yes, my Thomas Hardys are right here. So one thing you'll notice about my bookshelf is that I do have some books turned around. And the reason for that is that I try to keep things where I know where they are. Like I have enough of other types of books or from the same author or same genre or whatever that I know what's on the shelf, so it's not confusing or anything. For example, this section here is all of my Jane Austens, so even though these two books are turned around, I know that those are Jane Austen books because this is the Jane Austen section. So there's Mansfield Park, Pride and Prejudice, I believe. No, Persuasion, sorry. That's Pride and Prejudice. So I do have them turned around because not all of the spines are very pretty. I don't love all of the colors of all the spines, and I have a very specific aesthetic that I'm going for on my bookshelf. So some people might not like that, and I may turn around a few more of them. But for example, I have like Stephen King's The Stand, and it's bright orange, and I just don't care for the spine, so I have it turned around. And I know that this is a giant Stephen King book because this is my horror slash mystery slash like creepy fall vibes section. So with the exception of that book, which is just there basically for decor, because I don't know if I'll ever read that book. But we have like The Exorcist, we have Carmilla. Yeah, I've got like Dracula, The Monk, Shirley Jackson, Turn of the Screw, and then I have just some Stephen King and Agatha Christie, but I know what's there. But that will make it a little bit more difficult to find where to put some of these books. I also have 2 copies of Great Expectations I noticed. This one I had gotten from a thrift store, and look how beautiful it is. I just couldn't say no to this absolutely beautiful copy. I really like these old Wordsworth classic editions. I just love the pastel colors. I think they're so stunning, and I wish that they would make more books like this these days. So I have that one, and I also have this copy of Great Expectations, which I don't like as much. This is sorry for my phone. This is a Dover Classic Edition. This one's prettier. The font is a little bit bigger in this one. I'm not sure which one I would want to read. Until I decide which font I want to read, I'm just going to keep both of them for now. But that's really pretty. And then I think I'm actually going to get rid of this. I had bought this for my bookshelf as sort of a little trinket, a little decor, but I actually don't love this, and I think I'm going to get rid of it. Okay, next we have A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway, and this is an example of one that I'm going to get rid of my other copy of this. So I told you guys I have this one, which I purchased, even though I already have another one, and this is the other one that I have that I'm going to get rid of. I don't know what it is, I just really can't stand this copy. It looks cheap to me. It looks mass produced. I don't like that it's tall, skinny. I don't like books that size. They're just too big. I prefer like this size or smaller to read. And this one was an Amazon find. It's in excellent condition. It just looks like cheap, mass-produced. And also the title on the side is backwards. I don't know if you guys can see that, but so to put it the right way, you would put it like this, and then the book is upside down. So it just really bothers me, and I just don't like it. My favorite covers for books are actually like the typical oil painting, water painting, or like a beautiful image of a woman or something like that. For some reason, I just don't like this. So this one I am going to actually donate to one of the secondhand bookstores in town. I'm just going to stick it here for now. And I'm going to keep this Farewell to Arms. And I'm going to stick it the right way out because I don't mind that color of spine. Next we have a nonfiction. This is How to Raise the Perfect Dog by Cesar Millan. I'm going to put this down here with my other nonfiction area. I also have this one, which is Regrettably I'm About to Cause Trouble, and this is more of a contemporary book, I think, and also is like a feminist piece of feminist literature. I'm trying to think. I think I will put it down here with some of my more contemporary literature, so we'll stick it right here beside Prince of Tides. Next we have Kate Chopin, if I'm saying that properly, The Awakening. This is kind of a random one to me. Doesn't really have a good house, a good place to go. I'm gonna actually stick it up here, I think, with some of my other random classic literature. I think I'll actually stick it right back here beside this Victoria Holt. What's this? That's The Three Musketeers. We will just stick it right here. Next, we have this copy of The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo, and I do have this other copy here, this Notre Dame de Paris, in the Penguin Classics. I want both and like both. I'm actually very, very excited to read this. I don't know, I think they're the same book, but they might be different translations. I'm pretty sure they are. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know for sure. But I'm gonna stick that this way. And then this one here is James Joyce, Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. I'm gonna leave it like that, and I'm going to put this copy of Hunchback the right way, sticking out. Next we have this Oscar Wilde, The Importance of Being Earnest, and I'm gonna stick this beside the picture of Dorian Gray, which is right here. And now I'm starting to get a little bit tight in this area. So what I'm gonna have to do, I'm going to have to move something around. I think I'll take Virginia Woolf because I have other Virginia Woolf novels and I want to have a Virginia Woolf section on my bookshelves. So I'm actually going to take out this Mrs. Dalloway, and I'm also going to take out The Waves. You see, I know what's here. Even though some of them are turned around, I still know. And in its place, I am going to move over the picture of Dorian Gray. And I'm gonna stick The Importance of Being Earnest. Now we're gonna have to find a nice place for my Virginia Woolf books. I don't know where that's gonna be. Because I love the decor that I have on my shelves too. So I might have to take a lot of the decor off and just kind of start from scratch, because I kind of, for some reason, see my Virginia Woolf being up here, but there is a candlestick here and I like the look of the candlestick. But for now, I think what we'll do is we'll just maybe move the candlestick over, and I'll just take my Virginia Woolf and put her there for the time being. Next we have Albert Camus, The Outsider, and I do believe I have Stranger by Albert Camus, and I believe that book is down here. I really love those mint green spines. I'm not a huge fan of orange spines and red spines, which is why I have a lot of my other books turned around. This one here, I'm halfway through, I Who Have Never Known Men. Kind of got bored of it, to be honest, and then just put it to the side. It's an okay book. I started reading it when it was still sort of like wintry out, and I just haven't finished it. I need to do that. Now we have George Orwell, Animal Farm. I'm gonna put Orwell. I'm gonna put that right beside 1984, which is right here. Hemingway. Okay, now we've got another Hemingway. So I need to... Oh, Hemingway's down here. So that's okay. I just have to make room. So we have Dickens. I'm going to move Robinson Crusoe over here. Swiss Family Robinson, Treasure Island. I'm quite impressed with myself that I know which books are which, even though they're turned around. That's Treasure Island. And there's Christmas Carol. I'll put my Great Expectations here. I'm going to move over all of my Dickens. And then this is my Hemingway section. And what is this? This is, oh, The Adventures of Huck Finn. I'll just leave that there, and we will make room for our Hemingway. And this is For Whom the Bell Tolls, and I will keep the black spine out. I think I'm going to run out of room for my Dickens area, though. I'm probably going to end up having to move my Treasure Island and my Robinson Crusoe and Swiss Family Robinson. Steinbeck of Mice and Men. I believe my Steinbeck is over here somewhere. Where is my Steinbeck? Steinbeck, where did you go? Right here in front of me. East of Eden. It's obviously right out in front of my face. I just couldn't see it. So I'm going to stick this of Mice and Men right there beside the Pearl and Winter of Our Discontent. Virginia Woolf, Orlando. We will stick that one here. The Trial, Franz Kafka. I do have Metamorphosis down here somewhere. Where is Metamorphosis? Oh, right there. So I'm going to put The Trial right beside Metamorphosis. Not a huge fan of this spine, so I'm actually going to turn it around. I'm actually not a huge fan of this edition in general. It looks cheap to me. It looks cheap to me. Sorry about my phone continuing to go off, guys. Got our Thomas Hardy, Catcher in the Rye, The Old Curiosity Shop. So this is Dickens. We're going to put that over here, and let's put it here beside Christmas Carol. And I do want to get more Dickens works. I actually ordered, I know I'm trying not to purchase new, I'm trying to get only secondhand, but I did order Our Mutual Friend because I really, really want to read that book. And it's going to be a while before I go to the city again to any secondhand bookstores. Light in August by William Faulkner. So this is a standalone. This is the only work I have by this author. And I don't really know the genre, like what it's about. So I'm going to stick it, I think I'll put it maybe down here with some of my other random classics that are standalone authors or standalone whatever type of copies of books. And I don't particularly like the spine color, but I'm going to leave it out because I don't want to forget where it is, being that it is my only Faulkner. The Marble Fawn by Nathaniel Hawthorne. So I do have the Scarlet Letter, which is up there, but I think I'm going to put this one down here as well, being that it is a standalone. What is this chunky one here? This is Don Quixote. Yeah, so I'll put the Marble Fawn there, and I'm actually going to take my Scarlet Letter, Nathaniel Hawthorne, and stick that down here as well, just to keep Hawthorne together. Okay, Fanny Fern, Ruth Hall, A Domestic Tale of the Present Time. Again, standalone, only thing I have from this author. I'm going to put that down here as well. Charles Dickens, Nicholas Nickleby. That can go here beside The Old Curiosity Shop. We're already starting to run out of room on the Dickens shelf. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I'm going to put that with my children's books and my cozy books. So I'm going to put it right beside The Prince and the Pauper and The Wizard of Oz. White Witch of Rose Hall. I'm going to put that with my creepy fall witchy kind of books. I could probably put it down with my fantasy. I have a couple witchy books down there too, but I'm going to stick it here, and because I'm not a huge fan of the spine, I'm going to turn it around. I think I'll stick it right beside the monk, between the monk and the willows. Okay, Daisy Miller. This is Henry James, I do believe. Yes, this is by Henry James. I kind of don't want to keep the folio, like the case on it. Where is all of my Henry James? Turn of the Screw. So, Henry James, Turn of the Screw. I don't know what this book is about, but I kind of want to keep it with my Henry James, even though I don't know if it's a scary book or an eerie book or whatever. I kind of do want to keep it with my Henry James though, and I'm running out of space on the rest of the shelves. But I also want to keep all my creepy, like Halloween type of books there. So I think I'm just going to put Daisy Miller actually down here. And I think I might get rid of the folio. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. If you guys have ideas about that, let me know. Although it does smell delightful. It has that old book smell. Would I regret getting rid of this? Like, it probably keeps the resale value of the book higher, even though I don't plan to resell it. You know what? For now, I'm just going to keep it, even though I'll just keep it. Okay, Madame Bovary, Gustave Flaubert. So The other Madame Bovary I have is this one here, which is a much older, beautiful collector's edition. And this one I thrifted and I only paid a few dollars for it, you guys. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's, I think, about 100 years old, or maybe a little bit less than that. That's the other copy of Madame Bovary that I have. I don't know if I want to stick this one there because I kind of have that edition of Madame Bovary there for more for looks because it's beautiful. I think I'm going to take this one actually and stick it down here with my other random books. Or I guess I could put it, it doesn't really fit with my dystopian apocalyptic kind of stuff. I think I'm just going to stick it down here beside Daisy Miller. Okay, Albert Camus, The Plague. I love those spines so much. Good Wives, Louisa May Alcott. So as luck would have it, or not luck, as intention would have it, I do have a spot on my shelf for just specifically Louisa May Alcott, which is right here. I'm going to have to move some things over though to make room for it, but there we go. Okay, we've got E.M. Forster. I'm going to keep my E.M. Forster books to the side for now until I find a special place for all of them to go. Steinbeck, The Long Valley. I'm going to put that here beside my Pearl, and I'm going to keep it so that the beautiful pastel colors are actually facing out. Hemingway, The Old Man and the Sea. I'm going to put that one beside Farewell to Arms. Anthony Trollope, the only Anthony Trollope I have. So this one can go. I do have some other random ones up here. This is my Elizabeth Gaskell Bronte sisters. I think I'll put Trollope here on the other side of Wuthering Heights. I've got a couple of random like Reader's Digest books here just because they're beautiful. They're beautiful old, you know. I don't intend to get a lot of these, but I just thought they were pretty. Elizabeth Gaskell should probably go somewhere else instead of being mixed in with all my Brontes, because I will be collecting Brontes, and I'm reading The Tenant of Wildfell Hall, which is going to have to go here. So I might take North and South, which this cover is pretty. Where will I put this? I think I'll put North and South on the other side of the Claire Keegan books. By the way, this is my other little birdie that I got from the thrift store. $3 I paid for him. Such a beautiful book. Virginia Woolf to the Lighthouse. And we are going to put that here, and we're going to keep that spine facing out because it is gorgeous, and the cover art as well. George Eliot. Okay, pretty sure George Eliot wrote Middlemarch, and I just have to find Middlemarch now and confirm what I believe to be true. That is Dostoevsky. Oh, Middlemarch is right there. Perfect. So I was correct. I've never read anything from George Eliot before, but it seems fitting to keep my George Eliots together. But the cover of this is so stinking beautiful that I don't even want to hide it. We got our Tolstoy and our Dostoevsky. I think I'll just put it right beside Eliot, Middlemarch there. Beautiful. Actually, let's put it on the other side. I would like to get a better copy of White Knights. I really hate this copy of White Knights. Also, there are a lot of typos in this book. This seems like a random, basic, generic Amazon special that I wish I never would have purchased. In fact, I'm pretty sure they even spelt his name wrong. They forgot the Y in Dostoevsky. And I did not enjoy, like, this book was okay, but I didn't love it. I don't know if it's just a bad translation, but I will definitely be getting a different copy, different edition of this, because I don't like the way this book looks. I don't like that there's typos, and I hate that it's tall and skinny. It just looks weird amongst my other books. What are you guys doing? What are you doing? You coming to say hi? What are you doing? Next we have The Hound of the Baskervilles, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This is again kind of a random, I'm not really sure where to put it. I don't have anything else from Arthur Conan Doyle. It's mystery, so I think fittingly I will put it beside Agatha Christie, even though it's not horror. But I still feel like, I still feel like that's a good place to put it. I don't really like that candle there anyway. The Road. Having second thoughts about this cover choice. Should have grabbed a different edition, but there was only 2 editions. I'm going to put this with my more contemporary works. Actually, I think I'm going to stick it down here because the shelf is looking a little bit lonely. I'm going to put it beside Larry McMurtry's Lonesome Dove. Okay, we have, oh, another Dickens. This is Bleak House. I'm not sure what I think about this edition. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna stick this beside Great Expectations. And okay, there's not enough room. So we're gonna have to move. Do I want to make this shelf just Dickens? Dickens and Hemingway. So I can move my Crusoe, Treasure Island, and Swiss Family Robinson. They're going to have to go somewhere. I don't really have anywhere to put them. I'm going to have to stick them down with my contemporaries because I'm running out of room. So that's kind of sad, but we're going to do it anyway. I'll stick them down here. Or I might have to declutter a couple books, which I could do. Because I do have a couple books in here that are just here for looks. Like they're literally just pretty books that I don't think I will read, or I can start stacking them vertically. Okay, then we just have some folios left, and that's my beautiful old copy of Jane Eyre, which is stunning. And then we have this folio of Emma from Jane Austen. And then we have these beautiful, oh, I'm sorry, Cider, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. And then we have these beautiful older copies of Tess of the D'Urbervilles, Jane Eyre, Wuthering Heights, and Voltaire Candide. I think I'm going to take these and just set them to the side for now. Let's find somewhere to put Candide because I feel like it's a very interesting, beautiful book with a gorgeous spine. Oh, I forgot to put Bleak House away. So Bleak House is going to go here. So that is all my Dickens. This is all Dickens and Hemingway, and then randomly Huckleberry Finn. Sorry, Huckleberry, but you gotta go. You gotta go somewhere else. You can't live with those guys. And regretfully, you're gonna have to go down here with Daniel Defoe. So finding somewhere for these beautiful folio editions to go is gonna be a challenge because ideally I would keep my Austens together. Like I would keep the Jane Austen with my Austens. I could do that still, as long as it fits on the shelf. I hope it does. I think it will. And yes, it would. So, and because it's gorgeous, we're actually going to do that. So what I'm going to have to do is either move my Elena Ferrante's, or I will have to move Gone with the Wind. Cider, you are kind of annoying me. You're in my way. You're in my way. You're going to have to go out. Cider. Yes, you're going to have to go out. But she doesn't want to go out. She wants tummy rubs. She wants tummy rubs. That's what she wants. You guys, I'm very distracted because I left Candide sitting up here again after I moved my Dickens. Where should I put Candide? Beautiful book, beautiful spine. Don't really know what it's about. Have to find somewhere to put it. I'm gonna run out of room. So I think I'm gonna have to start adding books to my dystopian section or even my horror and thriller section, unfortunately. I don't have that many horror and thriller. It just is what it is, you know? So I might actually add, I don't know, where's a good place to put this? It's gorgeous. It doesn't fit. Okay, so there's our answer. It doesn't fit on a lot of these shelves. It's gonna have to go, I think I'll just put it on this shelf. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to have to go on one of these shelves because it doesn't fit on the others. I think I'm going to take this gigantic David Copperfield and put it on the other side, actually, just to make it look more balanced. That's good enough, I'm sure. Well, I will get more Dickens. I have another one on the way. Okay, so what to do about the Jane Austen situation? I'm definitely going to be collecting more Austen, and I don't even think I have all of her works. So I'm going to have to move Gone with the Wind, probably, and then I'll have room for Emma. I really want to keep the Elena Ferrante books together, obviously. They are more contemporary than Austen, so I could put them down on my contemporary shelf. It would actually make it look very pretty. I love the way the books look together. I think they're stunning. But maybe I will just take them and move them down. It's going to be kind of random here. It's going to be a little bit random. I think that's what I'll do. Let's take the Elena Ferrante's and move them down here. I could put my Elena Ferrante's like this and stack them vertically. I think that looks nice. And then we can take this little trinket dish and put that on top. There. That looks nice, and it adds a little bit of pretty color to that shelf. And then we can put our Emma somewhere. So it's a little bit random. We've got Gone with the Wind. I would like this to be all like Austen, but I don't have enough Austen right now. Maybe that's a good place to put my... Wait a sec, do I have more Austen here? No, these are Bronte sisters. I think this is a good place to put my E.M. Foresters, actually. This is where I'm at with the books. I found somewhere for all of the books to go, so I'm going to show you where I've put the books, and then I have to find somewhere to put the decor. So what I did with my folio editions, I put my Wuthering Heights here with all of my other Wuthering Heights. I put my Jane Eyre here with my other Jane Eyres. How many Jane Eyres do you need, you ask? Well, as many beautiful old editions as one can find, because it is simply the most wonderful book in the world. It's one of the very first classics I ever read, and I loved it, and I really want to reread it again. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so good, and it was... You know what I love about it is that even though I was so new to classics, I still enjoyed it so much. I think the second time around, I'm going to get even more from it, because now I am even more well versed in these older books, and I have an easier time reading them, and I have a longer attention span. My vocabulary's increased a little bit since starting reading them. So it's going to be an even better reading experience the second time around. I took this beautiful edition that I shared with you in my last video of Jane Eyre and put it here just underneath as like a platform for some of the other books that are on that shelf. I put my E.M. Forster books here, although I do have Passage to India somewhere else here. Here it is. I've got this one here, but that's okay. This one can stay here. And I also have a Room of One's Own. I think I'll turn that one around. So that's okay. So I've got two different copies of those books, but these ones are just really beautiful, so I put them there. And I put my folio edition of Emma here. I did rearrange this a little bit, so because I wanted to keep the teacups more central on the shelf as decor, so I did take my Northanger Abbey and move it from over here to over here. And then I have Confessions of a Jane Austen Addict here, which I got from a thrift store. And up here I do have Lost Memoirs of Jane Austen. So unfortunately, it's not all perfect. Ideally, this would be all E.M. Forster, this would be all Austen, but I wanted to keep the teacups kind of more central to the shelf. I could even take like Northanger Abbey and put Northanger Abbey, over here, just to even make it more balanced. There we go. That's good. So that's E.M. Forster and Austen on that shelf. I think that looks really pretty. And what else did I do? I think that's pretty much... Oh, I put my Tess of the D'Urbervilles folio here. That's the other thing I did. I moved my Hemingway from the Dickens shelf to... Oh, this is Hemingway too. I'll have to move this one over here. There we go. I'll need more room for Dickens anyways. And then I put my Thomas Hardy here. So this is my Thomas, because this book was too tall to fit on this shelf, so I had to move it down here. And I want to keep all my Thomas Hardys together. I would like to get a bigger, easier to read copy of the Thomas Hardy, The Mayor of Casterbridge. This is an old Signet classic, but it's just very small. But the writing, the font is okay. But I think that might be okay to read. But yeah, so that's going to be Hardy and Dickens, and eventually I might have to move Hardy if my Dickens becomes too big. And yeah, then I've got Little Dorrit. There will be room for Little Dorrit on this shelf once I'm done. More than enough room for Little Dorrit. And I'm also going to have room for Our Mutual Friend as well. And if the books have to start being stacked on top of each other like that and stacked vertically, that's perfectly fine, because it just adds more character to the bookshelf, and I love a bookshelf with character. But I am so happy with the books that I found at the secondhand store. I'm just so happy with all of the copies that I found. There are some books on the shelf that are here pretty much for... Like, they're nice old books that I don't know if I'm going to ever read. So I may have to declutter a couple of the older books that are just here basically for looks to make room for the ones I actually do want to read. But now I need to get off camera for a second and figure out where I'm going to put all of my little decorative pieces. So I'm going to do that, and then I will come back and show you what I have come up with. Alright, so I have the decorations on the shelf, and I've got all the books on the shelf, and it's not perfect. I will definitely switch things up, I'm sure. And let's be real, the shelf on the top right is going to eventually end up being completely all Bronte sisters, I'm sure, because I think that the Bronte sisters are probably some of my favorite authors that I've read so far. And of course, I think the Louisa May Alcott shelf will probably expand a little bit, and the Austen shelf will also expand. But I'm pretty happy with where I put all the decor. Put the flowers that were on this side over on this side just to balance things out a little bit more. And I didn't really know where to put the other items, so they're just up there on the top of the shelf. And I also moved the Candide book from this side over to this side just to create a little bit more, I don't know if balance is the right word, but I wanted to break it up a little bit without it having it be so choppy where like the books are on this side, then this side, then this side. I wanted them a little bit more broken up and a little bit more of like a casual look. I don't know if I'm super thrilled with the placement of these flowers. I could put them like in between again just to break it up a little bit. Just trying to make it look a little bit more casual. Alright guys, so hopefully the lighting is okay and you can see okay in this shot. But this is the bookshelf right now. That's how it's looking. I'm pretty happy with my collection. I feel like I have a lot of different authors in here and a lot of really great books to choose from, and I really like that it's a little bit more full now as well. I'm pretty tired. I think I'm gonna have something to eat, but I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing this video and spending some time with me while I put my books away and organized a little bit. I really love my bookshelves. It's hard to believe that just a couple weeks ago I was contemplating going down to only 2 bookshelves because I was thinking to myself, there's a lot of books on here that, I mean, let's be real, even if you read a book every week, it's going to take me a long time to get through all these books. And right now I'm reading 1 book every 2 weeks. It feels like, depending on the size of the book right now. But one thing that I think is that like books are beautiful, books are wonderful. Having a home library is really nice. It's something I've always wanted. It brings me a lot of joy. Seeing these books like this, coming into this room, seeing them all together on the shelf, having my own little sort of library is just wonderful to me, and I quite enjoy them. And one of my favorite things to do, no matter what time of year, I love sitting down in one of my big comfy wingback armchairs and settling in with a good book and reading. I just love it. It brings me so much happiness and so much joy. Yeah, so that's it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I will see you all very soon in my next one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.